Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a giant Warner box of Neville Marriner. Oh boy, isn't this exciting? We're going to have to do some hard truths when it comes to this set. There are 63 CDs and some delightful stuff in it, really some delightful stuff, but also some fairly workaday stuff. And this is his Warner collection. Now, you know, one of the things that happened back in the day, and Marriner, I think, was maybe one of the last conductors about which this is true. Pardon me, it's 80 CDs. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Okay, there's lots more. Oh, so much more. 80 CDs that we're going to have to go through one at a time. But let's be truthful about what's going on here. You know, Marriner was one of the last artists who did the old major label trot. And the major label trot meant, you know, you had a major label, they recorded tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. And then you jumped to another label because there was nothing more you could do with the other major label. You did everything. And you went and did all the same stuff all over again. Hopefully as well, if not better. And they competed with each other. But that was actually a healthy thing in the sense that while, I mean, we probably didn't need the same guy doing the same stuff, it forced the labels to compete. And in the classical music world, you know, they had to be forced to compete. They didn't want to compete. They thought competition was beneath them, that the music was so exalted and fabulous that all they had to do was record it and the universe would thank them and worship them and fling money at them. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, so here we have, for the most part, not entirely, some things that were new to EMI. Of course, they weren't stupid. They knew they had to do new things, but a lot of the same old, same old. And Marriner was not the kind of conductor who was going to do anything radically different, one label to the next. I mean, even Ormandy was far more radically different than Marriner was. I mean, when Ormandy did the Rachmaninoff Second Symphony for RCA, he did the uncut version as opposed to the cut version. I mean, at least, you know, there was some reason to redo a lot of his standard stuff. Such was not the case with Neville Marriner. Marriner was a kind, collegial, neat, clean, tidy performer who did excellent Baroque music, which actually was written not to have a conductor at all. Let's not forget. You basically wind it up and let it go. And he secured excellent playing, stylish playing, beautiful stuff. He could be good in the classical repertoire as well, which, you know, tempo-wise and in terms of how much conductorial intervention was required was similar. He was hopelessly out of his depth in the romantic repertoire, aside from some very, you know, simple neoclassically oriented, small-scale chambery type things. And he was very good in 20th century music, because 20th century music, of course, also had a lot of the similar qualities of earlier music in terms of its handling of tempo and its neoclassical bent. So that was all well and good. And he did it was a wonderful box of him doing contemporary music with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. Those were his strengths, and they were considerable. They were not the kind of strengths that justified listening to multiple versions of the same music with the same orchestra under the same guy's baton. And so to the extent this duplicates things you might already have had on Phillips, it really isn't necessary. If you don't have his stuff on Phillips, then you're going to get performances that are basically just as good. But, you know, there are also things he did here with the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra and other things that were not the same as the things he did with the Academy. So for that reason, some of these things are worth having. The quality of performance here is quite high. It really is. The question is whether it's necessary for you as a collector to own the set. So let's go through it. It opens that way. Oh, this way. I don't know. What does it do? It does this. No, oh, this is really strange. It actually goes in this way. You know, every box is just such a thrill. You have to figure out how to open it and why it's configured the way it is. So you've got like a table of contents thing here, which is really actually kind of handy. I could just read the back of the box here. That might be even easier. Let me see. Yeah, it even tells you who the soloists are. Okay. Want to do it that way? Well, anyway, let me just show you what you get. So you open this up. There's that, and it goes like this. And you have a very, very, very skimpy booklet. They've got 80 CDs in this rather small box. I mean, the packaging is getting cheaper and cheaper as time goes on. You get a tiny little note, the very model of a modern major maestro. Ha, ha, ha. Gilbert and Sullivan thing here. With Tully Potter's liner note, of course. And then there's an index of works. That's it. So the contents on the back is actually kind of helpful. And then you get all these discs, and they are original jacket productions. So there you go. That's the way it looks. And let's just see if we can do this just using the back of the box. Because otherwise, I mean, it really doesn't make any difference because there's no other... No, it's more fun when I pull all the discs out, isn't it? All 80 of them. All right, we'll do it that way. Where does it start? That's the question. CD 80. Right, we could do it backwards, like we do our random reviews from the overflow room and count down. Now we won't do it that way. All right, here we go. Oh, God. All right. We begin with Charpentier's Te Deum and Magnificat. Oh, it's a wonderful way to begin his EMI legacy, isn't it? I don't think he did these for Phillips or Decca. No, he didn't, did he? And the soloists, wow, Dawn Upshaw, Anne Murray, Ethna Robinson, John Aller, Kurt Moll, the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields Orchestra and Chorus. Terrific. Nothing not to love. So that's a great start. Bach cantatas with Ellie Ameling. Also a fabulous way to start. Which ones are they? It's, let's see. Weichet nur berühmte Schatten, the wedding cantata. That's easier. And Non Sacchi sia dolore, the Italian one, you know. I'm the one in Italian with Ellie Ameling. It's always fabulous. So that's really great to have. More Bach. The Magnificat and the Vivaldi Gloria. Sprightly, delicious performances. Extremely well played and sung. I mean, who are the soloists? They're also very good. Again, Barbara Hendricks, Anne Murray, Gene Rigby, Jorma Hönen, Uwe Heilmann. Terrific. And then Janet Baker doing Bach arias. Well, this is in the Janet Baker box, and anybody who likes Baker is going to like that. Then we've got the Brandenburg Concerti. Okay. Standard Marriner fare. And, you know, they're delicious. I mean, there's nothing not to like. Bach orchestral suites. Again, yes, okay. And like I said, if you have these already, oh boy, you're not going to hear anything astonishingly different from your other 30 or 50 versions of the same music. Bach piano concertos with Andrei Gavrilov. Oh, these were fun. I remember these back in the day. Yeah, there's all 7 of them. So that's nice to have if you're a Gavrilov collector. And then we've got the Messiah. Another Messiah. He did a wonderful Messiah, Decca, Phillips, whatever it was. And this is with Lucia Popp, Brigitte Fassbender, Robert Gamble, Robert Hall, and this is with the Stuttgart Radio Symphony Orchestra. That's right, I remember this. And it's in German. That's why I was different about it. Of course, it's auf Deutsch. Yeah, okay. Well, that was nice of him to do it auf Deutsch. I mean, who cares? Kathleen Battle doing Handel arias. I mean, this is you know, Kathleen Battle fans. Handel Water Music. We know that. It's a known quantity. Handel, the Concerti a due cori, 2 of them anyway, and the overtures to Agrippina and Ariana. He's a wonderful Handelian. He really is. I mean, it's all just lovely and warm and clean and sprightly and delicious. Then we've got Bach and Scarlatti and Vivaldi cantatas and concerti and things like that with Maurice Andre, Helen Donat, and Iona Brown and Daniel Avignon oboe and other people. It's, let's see. All right, fine. It's like Baroque stuff. His meat and potato stuff. Then we have the Maurice Andre album. I'm doing Trumpet Concerti. He's in that other disc too. It's on errato, you'll see. Even though it, you know, it's not errato. It is errato. Who knows? More trumpet concertos. Oh, God. Creak. Okay. All right. More trumpet concertos with Maurice Andre. This isn't the same as the other one, is it? No, it's not. Okay, fine. As long as they're different, It's enough Maurice Andre to like float your boat for quite a long time. And oh, look at this. David Monroe, recorders, and Neville Marriner doing music by Telemann, Sammartini, and Handel. So that's Baroque. The Haydn, Missa in Tempore Belli, the Mass in the Time of War, with Margaret Marshall, Carolyn Watkinson, Keith Lewis, Robert Hall. This is with the Staatskapelle Dresden and the Leipzig Radio Choir. Wonderful orchestra, wonderful choir, boring performance. I did never like these. I always found them to be a little bit on the tepid side. And the Nelson Mass particularly, which uses the revised orchestration, if I'm not mistaken, with the woodwind parts. Yes, which I don't like. It should be played strictly with Haydn's original instrumentation of organ, strings, and trumpets and timpani. It's so much more gaunt and affecting that way. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just there's so much more punch in Haydn than Marriner delivers, unfortunately. And Haydn Theresian Messes. You need a bunch of Haydn masses. These are all with the same people, with the Staatskapelle Dresden. This is the Theresian Mess and the Heilig Messe, and the Schöpfungsmesse. Those are the last bunch of Haydn masses. And I just wish these were more spunky. I mean, it wasn't music he did elsewhere, and it was, it's okay. It's just okay. It's not great. And we also get the creation, the whole creation, which is part of that series. Let's see, what do we get this with the Radio Orchestra Stuttgart again? And this is also kind of limp, a limp noodle performance. Barbara Bonney, Hans-Peter Blochwitz, Jan-Hendrik Rudering, Edith Beans, Olaf Baer. I mean, you see where we're going here? Good, decent, but not so compelling as to really justify, running out and buying it. Lynn Harrell doing the Haydn cello concertos. Okay, those are nice. I mean, Lynn Harrell's a very fine player. I personally think that the period instrument people often do these better. And, you heard it from me, folks, the period instrument guy. That says something. Haydn, the Seven Last Words. Well, this is virtually unknown. I played this just recently. I mean, I went back and listened to it. It's the original version. This is good. This is really good. I mean, this is really sensible and beautifully done. And, it's Marriner. It's not the kind of work that requires, the ultimate in charisma. And maybe the earthquake could be a little crazier at the end. But the original version for orchestra of this piece is amazing. And Marriner keeps it flowing. So I give him full props for doing that. Then we've got trumpet concertos with John Wilbraham, Haydn and Torelli and Viviani and Telemann and Franceschini and all those Baroque cello trumpet concerto people. And then, Giovanni Punto, who was known also as Jan Václav Stich. That's who he really was. Horn concerti with Barry Tuckwell. A fun disc if you're a horn concerto person. Let's see, Mozart, Les Petites Lianes, his little ballet. Well, that's charming, isn't it? I mean, this is the kind of thing, that he was foolproof music, and he isn't fooled by a minute. And we also get some overtures to the early operas, Il Re Pastore, Lucio Silla, La Finta Semplice, and Der Schauspieldirektor. Nice, intelligent record with more Mozart overtures. I mean, they could be more dramatic, as you know, but they're lovely performances. These are all the famous ones, so they're all on that disc. Then we got a bunch of Mozart symphonies. 24, 25, 26, 27, 32, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, 41, 40, and 36. Yes, all the ones. And the Prague. Wait, there's more. 38 and 39. So here they all are. And they're nice. They're very good. I enjoy these performances. They're very sensible and well played and attractive and, like he did last time. I mean, they're good. You can't complain. You can't also jump up and down and cheer. So there you go. Mozart piano concertos numbers 5, 6, and 11 with Christian Zacharias. Oh, here's that series of piano concertos. So we get that, and we have numbers 16 and 19, and we have numbers 17 and 18, and we have numbers 22 and 27. So those are all here. And I like these. Now, Zacharias, redid a lot of the Mozart piano concertos. And I think these are better because they have a conductor. He was the conductor pianist, I believe, in his remakes. And he became a little bit more affected. So we're better off having a guy at the podium. We really are. Aren't we? Yes, of course we are. And Sophie Mutter. What have we got here? Mozart Violin Concerto number 1 and the Adagio, because remember she did the famous ones with Carillon. And then we've got the Sinfonia Concertante in E flat with Bruno Giorana, or something like that. Okay, it's lovely. Well done. Mozart Horn Concertos with Barry Tuckwell, famous record, for Barry Tuckwell fans. Then more Mozart Horn Concertos with David Pyatt and the Horn Quintet. And they sound kind of like the ones with Barry Tuckwell. I know horn players are going to shoot me, but, you heard one horn, you heard them all. Sorry, guys. Nah, not always, but a lot. Mozart Concert Arias with Barbara Hendricks. Oh, she's lovely in this. She had such a wonderful kittenish voice, sexy sounding, and she sang beautifully. Amanda Arucroft, soprano, Mozart and his contemporaries. You have arias by Mozart, Cimarosa, and Haydn. The Scena de Berenice. Oh, I love that. That is so hot. That's fun. And then Mozart goodies. Eine kleine Nachtmusik, The Dance of the Blessed Spirits by Gluck, the Michael Haydn Toy Symphony, Schubert Rosamundi Bits, the Largo from Xerxes, transcribed by somebody or other, and Bach's, Herz und Mund and Tat und Leben thing, and it's just little sniglets. Beethoven Romances for Violin and Orchestra, Mozart Adagio for Violin and Orchestra, Schubert Rondo for Violin and Orchestra, with Joseph Suk. Now there's a wonderful record that you probably wouldn't remember very well, but he was one of the great violinists, so that's great. Beethoven Piano Concertos 2 and 3 with Till Fellner. Nice performances. I believe he redid all these for Erato when he grew up. I met him. It's so funny. It's so sad. Till Fellner is a fine pianist. I attended his label signing to Erato back at Medem. They had a whole press and publicity thing. He was there, and they signed things with a flourish. And then they made a couple of recordings with him, mostly chamber music, and they ignored him completely. That was a major label thing in those days. In those days, it was all coming to an end. Beethoven Violin Concerto with Dmitri Sitkovetsky and the 2 Romances. Okay. Well, that's nice to have. The performance is just fine. Next clump. We're really getting there, by the way. We're on disc 50. So we only have 30 to go. Cherubini Overtures. This is terrific. Okay, so it's not Toscanini doing the Cherubini Overtures, but they're very good, and we need a good disc of Cherubini Overtures. This is the kind of stuff they should have been doing more of with the new label. Unlike more of the same, more Barry Tuckwell horn concertos with Telemann, Cherubini, Forster, Weber, Mozart. There's a sonata for horn and strings by Cherubini. It's not a concerto, but who's complaining? Music for double bass with Rodney Slatford, double bassist. We've got Rossini, Dittersdorf, Michael Haydn, and Franz Keeper, whatever. Rossini Overtures. Now, of course, he did all the Rossini Overtures for Philips, now Decca, and he did them cleanly and neatly, but without any particular verve or aplomb. These have more aplomb, I think, than his earlier ones, somewhat more aplomb, but, they still could have more pizzazz. They really could. Soupe Overtures. Oh, I love Soupe, and these overtures are wonderful, and it's great to have a disc of them. Again, you can always imagine more, vibrant and just plain entertainingly vulgar, let's say, performances of the music, but they do it very well. The Grieg Piano Concerto in A minor, Mendelssohn number 1 with Cécile Housset. Some people liked her and some people didn't. I find these performances to be nothing special. The Grieg Peer Gynt music with Lucia Pop. He recorded this stuff many times. He did the suites, remember, on Hensler. And also with the Academy, and very, very well, and gloriously recorded. He had a feel for this music, and he plays it beautifully. He really does. And that is the the largely complete incidental music without the dialogue things and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. Vieuxtemps Cello Concerti with Heinrich Schiff, excellent record, with the Stuttgart Radio Symphony Orchestra. Bizet Symphony in C, L'Arlésienne Suites 1 and 2, very good, absolutely fine. Saxophone concertos with John Harl, saxophone. This is one of those contemporary things that they did so well. The Debussy Rhapsody, the Ibert Saxophone Concerto, Villa-Lobos Fantasia for saxophone and chamber orchestra, which is wonderful, by the way. The Glazunov Saxophone Concerto, the Richard Rodney Bennett Saxophone Concerto, and Ted Heath's Out of the Cool, whatever that meant. So there you go. That was not the usual stuff. The lighter Elgar, contrasts. Yes, lots of light Elgar. Wonderful to have. Absolutely terrific. Falla, the Three-Cornered Hat, and Nights in the Gardens of Spain. The pianist is Simon Bartow, and the performances are really dull. Not great. Now we've got the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields still. Let's see, we're still at the Academy? Yeah, okay. Let's see what else we get here. Respighi, The Birds, and the Botticelli Pictures. The neoclassical side. Excellent. Very well done. Wolf Ferrari, orchestral music. Also delicious. Overtures and opera bits. Lots of fun. You're not going to hear it that, many other places. Again, some of these are even remakes. I think he redid some Wolf Ferrari on Capriccio in Stuttgart. Frank Martin, the Petite Symphony Concertante for harp, harpsichord, piano, and strings. Fabulous. And the Block Concerto Grosso No. 1 with Ozzie and Ellis, Simon Preston, and Philip Ledger. There are the traditional balance issues in the Frank Martin. It's always a problem, isn't it? But the performance is very good. It really is. It's not as good as Stokowski's reference recording. Maybe we'll talk about that in a future video. But still, it was certainly better than not, and wonderful repertoire. Stravinsky with the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra. Yay! Dumbarton Oaks. Concerto in D. Danse Concertante. Yay! Here we go. Neoclassical stuff that he does so well. Pulcinella. Let's see, it's the complete ballet, as I recall, the suites to numbers 1 and 2 for small orchestra. Lovely performances, again, with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. We're back from LA. That was a quickie. English string music. The Holst, St. Paul's Suite, Delius 2 Aquarelle, the Purcell Chaconne in G minor, Vaughan Williams, 3 preludes founded on Welsh hymn tunes, Walton Henry V, Benjamin Britten Simple Symphony. Not all the usual stuff, so that was smart. That was smart. And the Britten Serenade and Les Illuminations with Heather Harper, soprano, and Robert Tier, Alan Civil, and the Northern Sinfonia. Very nice disc of stuff that they had better do well. The Minnesota Orchestra that he was briefly in charge of. The Britain Young Person's Guide, 4 Sea Interludes, and Men of Goodwill, Variations on a Christmas Carol. Oh, this was dull. I'm sorry, it just wasn't interesting. Copeland with the Minnesota Orchestra. El Salon, Mexico. 4 dance episodes from Rodeo, Appalachian Spring. It's surprisingly good. He gets the rhythm, and the performances are not, in any way, going to make you scream and jump up and down, but they're decent. They're decent. That's all I can tell you. They're good. William Walton, Facade with Fiona Fielding and Michael Flanders with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. Well, this is fun. I mean, what's not to like? Aldeburgh Festival stuff. Tippett, Divertimento on Selinger's Round. This is a wonderful disc. The Little Music for Strings, Sonata for 4 Horns, and the Concerto for Double String Orchestra. Very, very good. Absolutely fine disc. I mean, he remade this. This was done before, we know, but it's still very good. Then we have the Academy in Concert. Oh, these are just little sniglets. Handel and Pachelbel and Beethoven contra dances and things like that, which we don't care about. I mean, it's a nice, fun little disc to play while you do your laundry or whatever. The Academy by Request. Well, it's sort of the same as that one. We don't need to go into it. Beliebte Orchesterstücke. Favorite orchestral pieces with the Stuttgart Radio Symphony Orchestra. It's, bits of Bizet Carmen and Tchaikovsky Serenade pieces and Offenbach Barcarolle and The Flight of the Bumblebee and yeah, okay. The sound of the Academy. Ta-da! Well, this is sort of pretending it's a blockbuster. Well, you get the Dance of the Hours from La Gioconda, Otto Nicolai, Merry Wives of Windsor, Light Cavalry by Suppé, Shostakovich, the Waltz and Romance from the Gadfly, Mussorgsky Kovanshin, A Dance of the Persian Slaves, The Flight of the Bumblebee, again, The Dance of the Sylphs from The Damnation of Faust, The Snow Maiden, Dance of the Tumblers. Oh, there's so many better versions of that. There really are. Then Academy at the Opera, bits of opera things with, arranged for orchestra. Yes, there's no singing here. Yes, these are opera sniglets, which are charming. Remember we did Puccini symphonic syntheses of operas? I'd rather hear them that way. Lucia Pop arias. Lucia Pop fans, of course, already have this and will probably want it. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful, wonderful singer. This is lighter stuff. Zeller, Linke, Strauss, Stoltz, Lehar, Suppé, Strauss II, more Stoltz, more Lehar, Nico Dostal. Yeah, it's cute. Operetta favorites, basically. Then we've got, let's see, Wagner, the Siegfried Idyll, the Dvorak Nocturne, the Fauré Pavane, Tchaikovsky Andante Cantabile, arranged by Marriner from the String Quartet No. 1, Grieg 2 Elegiac Melodies, and the Boccherini Minuet, the famous Minuet. And finally, Oscar Wilde, music by Debbie Wiseman, narrated by Vanessa Redgrave and Stephen Fry. Yeah, okay. And that's it. That's the whole kit and caboodle, which I am now going to try to reassemble. Now, as you can see, it is most interesting where the repertoire is most interesting. It is least interesting where the repertoire either is not suited to Marriner's usual let's just say his skill set, or where it's just a repeat of stuff that he did elsewhere. Not that this is worse. Like I said, it's just not different enough to make us really want to care. But that's okay. Let me just put all this junk back. Box. Oh, my goodness. Almost done. One more clump, and we are in business. What happened to the booklet? Oh, it's over there. Okay, good. So there you have it. That is the Marriner box. And like I said, it's up to you. It's up to you. One thing I will say, Warner was smart in beating Decca to the punch. There have been several Decca Marriner boxes, as you know, but mostly focused on Baroque repertoire and the contemporary repertoire stuff. There was an Academy of St. Martin in the Fields box and whatnot. But, if Decca were ever to take his Phillips stuff, the actual Phillips stuff, and make a big box of it, I mean, you would have the Mozart edition all over again, first of all. But it would be enormous. And Decca would probably screw it up because they screw up everything they seem to touch these days. So if you really want your Marriner box, you might be best off getting this now, with the understanding that there isn't any guarantee that a Decca box will not be forthcoming in the not too distant future. This is also a pretty good deal, as I recall. It's pretty cheap for what you get for 80 CDs. So there you have it, my friends. It's just a brief overview of 80 discs of stuff. Very, very high quality for the most part, and the necessity is something that you have to decide. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.